with us as our speaker. Her mission is to unleash greatness, impacting your triple bottom line of people, planet, and profit. She helps social conscious entrepreneurs and businesses gain more focus, clarity, and accountability to create sustainable revenue through business coaching. As a broke college art student with zero connections, resources, or money, she tripled her net income, grossing 6 figures by the age of 23 in her first business, InsideOut Investing, a socially responsible financial planning practice. And a decade later, she now helps high-performing, mission-driven entrepreneurs unleash their potential and make more money doing what they love while being the change they wish to be in the world. Today, in Anna's talk, The Soul of Your Business, Grow Your Client Flow, she's going to share with us the biggest mistake entrepreneurs make, 2 keys to master high performance, and how to energetically align your business. Now, if Anna looks a little familiar to you, it's because you've seen her on the side of a bus. Like, no joke, on the side of a bus. Or a billboard, or in a television ad, because she's one of the poster customers for BECU. So join me in welcoming Anna Choi.
Awesome. All right. So I want to first get a gauge of who's in the room. We had these amazing introductions, but how many of you have been, just with the raise of the hand, have been in business for well, you'd say you're just starting out? How many are in that category? Okay, great. How many at least 1 to 2 years? Okay, great. And how about 2 to 5? Okay, more than 5. All right, excellent. So we got a nice mix. All right, so there's 2 global trends that every entrepreneur is facing today. One, we live in a constantly, I can give you a slide deck at the end so you don't have to worry about feverishly copying things. So we live in a constantly changing world. Recent studies show that 65% of people in elementary school are going to be in jobs that don't yet exist. 65%, which means essentially, oops, what you learn today may become obsolete for tomorrow. The second piece is that we live in the age of information overwhelm. Now, BBC quotes how in the course of a day, you're exposed to an entire lifetime of information than someone in the 16th century would have encountered for their entire life. So let me say that one more time. Today, as a Westerner, you encounter more data and information than someone in the 16th century would encounter their entire lifetime.
Wow. I wonder world.
Yes. It doesn't get addressed, and yet your brain now has to discern, analyze, locate. You know, how many of you have ever walked into a grocery store and you forget what you're buying by the time you get there, and you're not old. Not that old, that's bad. Give myself a whole sentence. But that's no different, right, than the entrepreneur who opens up that laptop and you got the emails and the ads and the Facebook feeds and the 5,000 different communication channels. People can now communicate with you. So your brain is on overload, and it's having to make decisions a lot. That's the biggest asset right now, besides adapting to the constantly changing world, is your ability to make decisions. So it leaves many entrepreneurs in a constant state of reaction. Oh, there's my sword. Oops, this is hard. Okay. In a constant state of reaction versus creation. And that's what today is about, is how can you get in flow so that you're in a state of creation rather than constantly reacting to things. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is the biggest mistake entrepreneurs make, the 2 keys to master, I forgot to change this too, the 2 keys to master key performance, and how to energetically align your business. All right, so these are the exact keys that I use with one of my clients. So this is Chris, had a 9-to-5 job working at the hospital, and he was a consultant. And for 3 times he tried to start his business. I didn't know this when I worked with him. And his best year was like $10,000, you know, just sharing with all his friends. So then we met, and within 3 months, he had secured $100,000 in contract work, enough to quit his 9 to 5. And within 2 years, he was able to then go from $0 a month to $30,000 a month regularly on average. So he's like my Cinderella client. I'm not promising that for every single person here. But what was it, right? Because he wasn't special. I mean, he was an ordinary guy. And so after talking to hundreds of different entrepreneurs, I have found that there are distinct traits, and that's what we're going to dive into right now. So let's start with the biggest mistake entrepreneurs make. Oops, okay, so I'm going to start. The best way is to share a story with you. So imagine a lamppost, it's nighttime, and there's a man on his hands and knees crawling around, and he's looking for something. And a friend walks up and says, "Hey, what you looking for?" And he's like, "Oh, my keys." Where'd you lose them? Back there, over there in the dark. She's like, "Well, then why are you looking here?" He's like, "Because I can see here under the light." Now that story is not too far from what many entrepreneurs are dealing with. They're stuck looking under lampposts on what they see to do and not going into the dark where the keys actually are. Growing their business, revenue generating actions, getting more clients. So I want you to think for a moment, what areas are you looking under the lamppost? Taking busy actions that seem good and you can justify why they're great, but they're not in fact revenue generating actions. And so some of those things might be, oh, I'm going to figure out a really cool tagline, or I'm going to figure out all these things are important, or I'm going to go write my book. And I know a lot of you mentioned that today, so I don't want to diss on that because those are important things. And what I'm talking about is what's actually going to grow your business. And sometimes we don't have that decision awareness because there's so many things coming at us. Okay, so on your handout, this is interactive. That is the biggest mistake that entrepreneurs make, is they have what I call a scattered marketing approach. Try a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And they're not focused on what makes them money, on what makes money. I'm like, phew. So go ahead and shout out a couple people. What are ways in which you are looking under the lamppost?
Scrolling Facebook.
Yes, how many of you get sucked into the Facebook feed? Or the internet land, right? You just start researching, you're like, I'm just gonna check the news. And then like 20 minutes later, you're like, what have I been doing? I was market researching.
I call it Facebook vortex.
Yes.
The
vortex.
Scroll.
Scroll.
Okay, so
Okay.
I find myself doing webinar after webinar after webinar.
Oh yeah.
Getting more information, having to get this better. Just I am in that learning vortex. I'm a junkie.
Yes. How many of you are learning junkies?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Got a few. Okay, great. So just take a moment for now and write down. Be honest with yourself. Where do you look under the lamppost? Okay, and then go ahead and wrap that up, and you can complete that at home as you will. And then why do you think you're not taking those actions? So who's a brave soul?
Too messy of a desk.
Too messy of a desk. Okay, great. Yep.
Yep.
For me, it's like I don't have an overall marketing plan. It's like I don't know what to do for sure, and I'm afraid of like making mistakes. Am I going to waste my money? Am I do wrong? Will I look bad?
You're a
like,
perfection.
yeah, maybe.
Failure.
Yeah, just like not having the big picture. Not having that big picture in place.
Yes. Okay, great. So not having the big picture in place. Yeah. What
I
about
don't trust lawyers.
you? Don't trust lawyers.
Like
Okay.
that's I'm not going to a lawyer with my contract because I don't trust him.
Okay, gotcha. With your specific thing that you're not doing that you know you need to do. Gotcha. Okay. Yep.
Like getting ready to get ready, practicing and learning versus just doing.
Yes, that gets in your way. Is the practicing? So you'll just keep practicing. I'll just keep practicing.
Yeah.
Okay. Never ready kind of thing.
Right.
Never ready enough.
Right.
Yes.
As a mother of four, they're all grown now, but you're all always into the busy and the urgent, and you take care of that.
Yes.
Busy and urgent, not necessarily vital.
Important.
Still busy is important.
Yes, human beings, right? We go after what's urgent, not important.
Right.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The one I find is that I sit at my laptop and it's like, okay, where do I start?
Yeah.
What do I do first? How do I get out to my clients? How do I, get dinner? How do I? And so I sit there and I just keep going over and over and over in my mind, and then I don't focus and I have no consistency. And by the end of the day, I go, that was a waste.
Good. Yep.
I think I have one thing I do is I try to get to know people first before I find out if that's somebody I want to do business with. So I spend time establishing that, but then I don't follow up. So I spend an hour getting to know you and knowing what your thing is, but then I forget 2 weeks later to give you a call back.
Yeah.
And then it's a month later, and then like, did you remember me? Like, I don't.
How many of you slack the follow up?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Yep.
Well, when it comes to like getting my message out, whether it's a newsletter, social media, or whatever, I always think, well, what do I have to say that's different from other people? They've heard it before, and I know I don't like getting a bunch of email that I'm not going to read. So I talk myself out of things.
How many of you can relate? You talk yourself out of, you're like, oh, or when you start to go to write some copy, then you need to research. So you look at other people's, and then suddenly you feel bad about yourself. That's just me. You're like, this is so good. Okay, that's mine. Okay, great. So go ahead and just moment of truth on your sheet. Just circle. Are you, in fact, focused on revenue generating actions day to day? Not just like every once in a blue moon, but most of the time. And I'll start, because if I'm really honest, no. I mean, it's not going to go that way naturally for sure. No way. And even if you were to do 20% a day, that's like far beyond what most human beings do, because I think most are doing like 0 to 5. But how many of you, show of hands, say that yes, the majority of the time you're focused on revenue generating actions? Okay, 2 of you. That's awesome. Okay, 2, 3. Perfect. All right, so that is the biggest mistake entrepreneurs make. Now, the 2 keys to master performance. Have you ever noticed there's like this struggling entrepreneur that's like, no matter how big they get, I've worked with clients who are making $500,000 a year, right? They still are like, I don't know if I can make payroll. There's $1 million producers, right? They've got lots of people, and they still aren't as profitable now because they've got a team to manage, right? So at every stage of growth, there are people that are going to keep struggling around. And what is it that distinguishes them? So number 1 is mindset. That's the first key one, is mindset. And that is the actual definition, right? Is it's a habit. It's a fixed mental attitude that will predetermine what kinds of actions you take. Okay, so when I first was starting my second business, I had just been let go overnight from what I thought was going to be a dream job forever. And I was the sole breadwinner of my family. I was like, crap. Yeah. And then what happened was my mindset was off. So I didn't at that time have the confidence to become a business coach that I actually in my heart wanted to, even though I had sold my first 5-year financial planning business, right? For double what was worth, blah, 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 blah. And still, I wasn't confident in that stage of my life. And it kind of sabotaged everything, because I hired like the best business coaches. I did everything, and I took all the actions. But without that mindset, no, it's just not going to go. How many of you can relate?
Yeah.
Great. All right. So what percentage of time for you are you in what I call the mindset of a performer? And you got to be like an Olympian, right? So here's some traits of what mindset I'm talking about. So you are someone who's like, yeah, I'm going to go to the dark unknown after those keys. And yeah, I'm gonna be coachable and I'm gonna be open and I'm gonna have a beginner's mind and I'm not gonna know everything, or I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna go figure it out. That kind of thing. And they're like an Olympian, right? Who they actually are practicing a ton, right? All the time, day in and day out, for this one moment of competing where they might, in an eighth of a second, miss the entire race. You're kind of like that as an entrepreneur. You are like doing the work. It's a lot of work, right? Doing the work for that one golden opportunity when all the pieces match up for that next big client or whatever you're looking for. So that's what a performer's mindset is like versus a struggler's mindset. So what do you think is a struggler's mindset? Why bother? Negative self-talk. I can't do it. Can't focus.
If the universe wants me to be here, I do.
That's a good one. Okay, the universe wants me to. Fine. Okay, great. What else?
Lack of scheduling.
Lack of scheduling. And you probably know why you don't do things, yeah?
Yeah.
You got all your reasons?
Yeah.
And then you just listen to them. So here's the thing. You're not either a performer or a struggler. We're all both. At every moment, you must choose. Every moment.
Mm-hmm.
Every moment. That'll alter the trajectory of which you go. And the more times that you can choose to be that performer mindset, all right, I'm totally scared and I'm going to do it anyway. I don't know what I'm doing, but nobody else does either. I'm going to go get help. Like for me, it's like making some big investments, right? Like into hiring help or whatever, right? That's when the growth happens and you can keep building then more, your brain actually will keep being inside of the performance mindset. Okay, the second key is system, and that is key number 2. So again, going back to all the information overwhelm, systems are critical, so they can do the thinking for you when you're like, blah. So how many of you have what I call a primary or signature program offering, etc.? Raise your hand. Okay, great. So about a third, half maybe. So this is critical to focus yourself on a primary flagship offering. So for someone who's like, for me, I'll show you what my system looks like, but I have business coaching, right? So there's pretty much, I have a group coaching accelerator and then one-on-one business coaching, and that's it. And everything goes to that. But initially I could do lots of things. Oh, I'll be a marketing consultant. Right. I'll be right. You can you'll start to mold towards what your clients need because trust is there, the money's there, like that. But it then takes away from your focus. Okay, so that's like the first step. So for those of you who don't have a flagship offering or core service, you'll want to create one and design one. And for those who do, that's where the system comes into place, is what is your system from stranger to prospect to client for that flagship program or offering or service or product. So this is what mine looks like. So there's literally like 17 primary marketing strategies. Press and PR, social media, networking, speaking, content writing. I can go on and on. I'm not going to go through all of them. But out of all of them, what are your top 2 or 3 that you're awesome and great at that you can just focus on that then funnels through screening? That's like a discovery call or a sort of application, and then to a strategy session, which you still further screen, make the offer, and then it can go into your different services. So that's just mine as an example, but how many of you have created some sort of system? So this is another moment of truth. Be proud. Okay, good.
But it's there.
There's about 5 of you, right? Out of 30, so whatever percentage that is. All right, so this is critical. It'll make your life so much easier. Okay, so that's the other thing for 2 keys to master performance. Now, and then you can, this is, my other system is the actual flagship offering, right? So you want to design yours so that it's clear and clean when you're walking people through. Okay. Now, the last piece is how to energetically align your business. I'm going to share this best with a story. Okay, great. So this is, you have on the back side of your sheet, like you'll be in a moment assessing how energetically aligned your business is from the inside out. So this is like a scratch version before the version on your paper came out. And these are all kind of, you know, the middle is like an up is like what you show to the world. It's your vision, mission, and values. And then what's below the surface is like your body, mind, heart, spirit. And all of that's got to align from the inside out. And mostly in life, we're figuring out how to make it all be aligned. Does that communicate? Mm-hmm. Okay, so case in point, right? Sure, I had all the financial success when I was 23. I was working 80 hours a week and completely scattered and like burnt out. So my body was way out of whack. Too much work. And my mind was like, ugh. So then I went the other extreme. I was like, screw this. And I went on, after I sold my business, I went on sabbatical, discovered my heart. I wrote a children's book. I got pregnant. I water birthed my son. I like just had fun. So now everything was awesome the other way, except we were like, we had no money. Noble poverty, right? We were on food stamps. That bad, right? And then we swung the other way. So then at this point, now I've got mortgage, I got a kid, I got a spouse to support. I was a sole breadwinner, so then I'm like, oh, I need predictable, stable income. So onto my business became more about contracts, right? And then I scored. Oh, I got pictures of these. There I am. Look at me. And then, I was saying how I get the scattered marketing approach when I was there, and I did everything, and I did all this, right? But I got totally burned out in my early 20s, and that seemed like a bad idea. Okay, and then I was like, there we go. There's you went traveling. Right, I'm pregnant. Here's my husband and son. Okay. And then I landed in Mecca, I thought. I was like, I need to go in the tech industry. That's where the money is. I scored a large client for $7,000 a month. I had other smaller clients. We were doing well. Everything seemed mostly aligned again, except spiritually, like, did not care about that industry. It's okay in this room. Okay. Anyway, so anyway, it was swung the other way. So I realized, gosh, this is where the diagram came into place. It's like, I need all of these things to line up. And so I did, and now I'm in a much better place of everything lining up. So there's a new hall in Polsville we just moved to, and I get to help. This is the best part, right? Helping clients go from 0 to 30,000 a month. Now, your turn. So on your handout, you've got 6 lines: vision, profitability, fulfillment, body, mind, heart. And then just go ahead and rate yourself. So it's an energy spectrum. So on the far left, there is the lack of clarity. And then on the far right it's like you're too attached, kind of what Cindy was talking about earlier, like at what cost, right? So go ahead and rate yourself as far as vision. Like, that's your future.
And this is all as it relates to your business.
The top 3 is the business. The top blue is your business. The yellow is your internal, yourself. And if you can just do that quickly, I'm not going to walk you through each line because of time, but you can also do this at home. But once you color in all the bubbles, then you just want to connect the dots and then see how you line up. And that's like the soul of your business, the energy line.
And you made this all on your own?
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
Well, I was trial and error. Okay, so that's it. So how you aligned you are, that's how the name of this topic, right? The soul of your business, how to grow your own client flow. Because when you guys are grounded and have a lifestyle that you love and you're serving the people you want to make and that fits your vision, you naturally magnify your branding and your presence and your conviction with which you speak, but money magnifies, your impact magnifies, everything magnifies, your heart overflows. And that's what's possible. So you can use this tool anytime you want and just be, listening at the end for an offer that we have for you.
You are a bright one. Thank you so much for generously sharing, your journey and your tools and insights with us. Let's give her another hand. Sure. And then I have a little goodie for you.
Oh, thank you.
A little co-branded card. So
cute.
enjoy the goodie and keep this in your pocket. So I'll get a quick picture and then. So cute.
That's too posed.
Come
on, be real.
I love her.
Yeah,
Is it taking a second? Okay.
There's no click. There's no 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
So.